PEPFAR. Saving lives. Investing in people. PEPFAR. Partnering for an AIDS-free generation.
Children affected by parents dying of HIV/AIDS had to be taken into care. Some were born HIV positive themselves and were vulnerable. Centers like Nazareth House were established to protect and care for these children.
The first year that we took HIV positive children into Nazareth House, the first year we had about 4, and then the following year we had 10, and the numbers just escalated until by 1996-97 we had 60 babies and very young children, all under the age of 5, all HIV infected, and most of them had full-blown AIDS and were very, very sick. And during that time we lost almost 90 little ones. The only response we had really were antibiotics, vitamins, and, Panado really just for the pain. Although later on, fortunately, they did start giving them morphine when they were really at the last stages. Every time they developed a sickness, if they got pneumonia or they developed gastro or anything, straight away we would think, oh, is this the end now? It was just a very unsettling and uncertain time. And yet you had to be positive all the time for the children's sake and keep giving them hope all the time, whereas we had very little hope really because we just didn't know what the future was going to be. And the doctors kept warning us, they will not live beyond the age of 5 years, so don't expect them to.
With the advent of ARV treatment, the children's destinies were set to change.
I remember clearly about 6 months after we put the children on treatment, one of the nuns came to me and she said to me, she doesn't know what this medication is doing to the children because they are so boisterous and rowdy and behaving so badly. So we said to her sister, they are just behaving like normal kids now. They are healthy, they are not terminally sick anymore. They had to make considerable changes because the children now were not dying at the age of 5 or 6 anymore. 10 years down the line, we have Nazareth House children that were started on ARVs in 2004, 2005, who are finishing high school now.
The majority of them really kind of turned a corner and really started flourishing. And most of those children now are in their 20s, their early 20s, and it's wonderful. They're living healthy, normal, active lives.
Isibindi is another effective model created by the National Association of Children and Youth Care Workers that supports orphans and vulnerable children.
Isibindi is a Zulu word meaning courage, and the model creates circles of care around children. The idea is that we recruit unemployed women and men in rural communities, train them to work with vulnerable children and families.
I can say, without the activities that I took part in at Isibindi, maybe I wouldn't be here.
We designed and created the Isibindi model as an early intervention and prevention program where we would develop child and youth care workers with capacity and skills right there in rural communities responding to the HIV/AIDS crisis.
Sibonello is a youth care worker trained by the NACCW. He now mentors and supports Isibindi youth like Owen Mafalika.
The communities that we have to work in are communities that are actually rural. They are rural, so most of the families don't have anything. The families don't have anything. So what we do is that we go into these families and try to offer them resources that will help them to be something in life.
In South Africa, we have what is called the youth bulge. So statistically, we're a large children-youth population. So it's important for us to emphasize the development of workers who respond effectively to the needs of children and youth.
I still had memories of my dreams. I usually discussed with my mother because she was more closer to me. So I usually shared my dreams with her. So the time she was gone, I had nobody to discuss my dreams with. Without the Isibindi program, I don't think I would have made it.
Strengthening child welfare and protection systems is a central focus for PEPFAR. and its funding has enabled the Isibindi model to respond effectively to children in unique circumstances.
We've developed the concept of safe park, places for children to play, to recognize children's rights to play in contexts where there are no playgrounds, there are no parks.
My responsibility is to teach the youth that is growing up disadvantagedly. I want to teach them how life is, share them my story, tell them how it feels when you go to university, how it feels when you don't have financial help, when you don't have money to study, and how Isibindi works. And then I want to encourage them to study, show them the advantages of having a certain achievement, whereby that will open doors for you in the future.
In partnership with government and PEPFAR, the Minister is expecting to see 400 Isibindi projects servicing 1.4 million children and developing 10,000 child and youth care workers in rural communities scattered throughout South Africa.
PEPFAR, partnering for an AIDS-free generation.